Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan Crane, producer and co-founder of Conquering Cancer. And today I'm excited to be talking with AJ Lanigan about the mysteriously powerful benefits of Beta Glucan. Over the past 20 years, AJ has tirelessly worked to advance the science and education around Beta Glucans and their safety and benefits to overall health. AJ has taken the lead with some of the most brilliant researchers of our time, leading to really unparalleled accomplishments in developing high-quality products and promoting educational research, which now appears in peer-reviewed medical journals, books, and educational lectures given around the globe. AJ is truly an authority on Beta Glucan, and I'm excited to get into this ingredient with all of you and this product, because I think it is something that is incredibly beneficial for our overall health, for our immune system, and for anybody dealing with cancer as well. So AJ, thank you so much for being here and talking with our community.
Great to be here. It's been a minute since we last visited, and I really appreciate the work that getting the word out to people, trying to give them a little checkup from the neck up so that they can do something better for themselves, their family, their loved ones. I always tell people, if you go to research, quote unquote, things that you're not sure about, particularly in my area, don't spend a lot of time with Dr. Google. Go to, for example, PubMed. And they don't learn about what PubMed is or what it does unless they come to resources like we've got here. So much appreciated on my end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why, my community knows, and those who are watching this who don't know my work, but the people who have followed me for years know that I am an avid researcher. I've read hundreds and hundreds of research papers, and I go out and interview the experts and the scientists and the doctors, and I want to learn as much as I can about it and then experiment with it myself as well. So I don't only do the research, and then I talk to the people who have reversed the chronic diseases, and I interview the doctors, and I look at the papers, and I try to break it all down into easy digestible information. But then I also experiment with it myself, and if it's something that I see benefit in and I believe benefit in, then I share it with my community. I share it with others. So I try to do as much of that heavy legwork for people up front as possible. But I agree, because if you just go to Google or whatever search engine and start typing in something, it is such biased information sponsored by companies with their own vested interests, ran by other powers that be, that don't want some of this information out to the public. I mean, a lot of the information that we get to learn about deeply in the health field, specifically the natural, holistic, integrative health fields, we have to dig really deep to find that truth, because a lot of it is censored nowadays, which is a very sad state of affairs, but it's true. The censorship is harming the general public. And so it's opportunities like this where we get to talk with people like you, who this is your life's work. I mean, you've spent so many years in the science behind Beta Glucan and its benefits and its power for health and healing. And so, I want to get into that with you. And as we do, I think it's a great opportunity to start with a big picture question, which is, what exactly is Beta Glucan?
That's probably the number one question. Good that we lead with it. The simple answer is it is an ingredient. I'm talking about in the terms of the material that I actually work with, because glucan is a bit of a broad term describing a group of compounds known as complex carbohydrates. Beta glucan describes the nature of the actual molecule and the way that it's formed. And our particular material, we extract from the cell wall of what you would know as baker's yeast.
Beta glucan comes from baker's yeast, or at least the one that you particularly work with. Why did you choose that source for beta glucan, and then how does it work? Like, what's so important about it?
Glucans, again, speaking in a broad sense, can come from a myriad of sources. A lot of people have seen the little Cheerios girl running out there talking about glucans from certain cereal grains. Glucans might come from mushroom sources. There are certain bacteria where it can be found in its cell wall. It can also come from certain seaweeds. The reason we concentrated on, and believe me, we have tested all of these materials, really, wrung them out hard and strong, is we're looking for the most biological activity as it pertains to the immune system. And so the molecule, as it comes from a totally natural, non-GMO source, we extract it, getting rid of all the proteins, getting all the fats and so forth, leaving behind that complex carbohydrate. And it's that molecule then, if we lay it up beside all the other sources, gives you the most horsepower, let's say, because I could take and eat a cup of mushrooms and I might move the needle a little bit. But if you've bought a cup of mushrooms, you'll find that a cup of mushrooms isn't really that cheap. But you can take one of our small capsules and it would be like taking 50 pounds of mushrooms. You're going to get huge immunological activity from it. And again, this is something that's been tested and retested. Medical journals published from all over the world, major universities, teaching hospitals doing this work, getting it published. So there's no doubt that the number one source is going to be the extract from Saccharomyces cerevisiae. You would know it as a baker's yeast, and the purification. I can't stress that enough. It's got to be highly purified to get rid of all those other things that don't benefit. In fact, would actually mask some of the benefits of the pure molecule.
So when it comes to baker's yeast, isn't yeast a fungus, and is fungus is not great for people with cancer. We know that, right? And a lot of our community that we serve and support are people with cancer. So the question is around, is baker's yeast, when you take this beta glucan out of it, does it have that yeast biologic, a part of it? Is it how does it affect the body biologically as a yeast? What if people are allergic to yeast or fungus? Like what concerns can you address there?
Great question. Again, people who have sensitivities, allergies, and so forth to yeast and other fungal products, that immune response is actually due to the proteins that are in that mass.
A good example of that is gluten sensitivity. Gluten is the protein most commonly found in wheat that people have the issue with wheat. It's the gluten protein itself. And so,
right, that's GLUTEN, gluten.
Yep.
Where our material is glucan, GLUCAN, totally unrelated.
Yep.
One a protein, gluten, versus the complex carbohydrate. Think of our material as a highly purified fiber. Unlike sucrose, glucose, lactose, all of these much simpler sugars, and simple sugars are not so great for a lot of people. Diabetics, people with cardiovascular disease, cancer, all these different things. You want to stay away from the simple and/or refined sugars. Our material, more a fiber, a very complex molecule. And in fact, a lot of the research talks about benefits of this material for people who have blood sugar issues, people that have cholesterol issues. There's a long list of benefits beyond that of the immune response. And, for this particular talk today, I want to kind of stay in the channel of the immune system. And there's a big umbrella under the immune system. People think about, well, I don't catch as many colds. Well, no, there's a lot of things. Cancer is under that umbrella. infectious disease, whether it's virus, bacteria, COVID right now is a hot one. Of course, allergies, you think of the immune system. You can't heal from an injury or an insult without a competent, properly functioning immune system. The aging process itself. Again, what is it? Well, it's the total sum of all insults that we've received while we're here on this planet. You want to slow that aging process down. You want to help support and maintain that healthy immune response. So that's the umbrella that we're going to talk about mostly today.
All right. And so when it comes to the protein in yeast that people tend to have a problem with, can you talk a little bit more about that?
We get rid of that. That is part of our process in purifying the glucan. Glucan, again, the carbohydrate portion, we're going to get rid of all the protein, get rid of all the lipids, the fats, if you please. And so you're dealing with a highly purified material.
So people who have concerns about yeast or fungus or sensitivities, they have nothing to worry about with this.
Not at all. Not at all.
Got it. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So talk a little bit about how beta glucan does impact the immune system, and particularly this form of it. So what's actually going on there?
All right, when you take this material, swallow it down into the gut, it actually starts being taken up in the small intestine. If you understand what a Venus flytrap is, it grabs insects and pulls them in. You've got areas called the Peyer's patches, P-Y-E-R-S, Peyer's patches. And inside those Peyer's patches areas are M cells, or microfold cells. And they literally grab our particle as it comes through, pulls it through the lining of the intestine, and it's there that the immune cells first start grabbing it. Now, it's the immune cells themselves that once they engulf it, actually digest it and break it down into a very unique molecule that's like a key that fits into a switch. This molecule is a one-of-a-kind molecule that actually activates our immune cells. You've got to do something extra to keep your immune system activated at the best level possible. So that's why people seek out this product. Now, that doesn't mean that you still don't have to eat well and exercise and rest and deal with stress, all the things you should know how to do, or somebody should teach you how to do. But if you want that immune system to be at its best, then this is the material that you want to seek out.
Can you talk about some of the interesting studies about beta glucan and cancer specifically? I know there's some really fascinating studies there.
You go to PubMed. This is where all the medical research done by prestigious universities, teaching hospitals, and so forth. These are not ads that are paid for. These are things that are in JAMA, the New England Journal of Medicine, the Journal of Immunology, and so forth. This is where you have access to those. Now, in some cases, you may not be able to read the entire article. You may only be able to read a couple of 200-300 words, the abstract. But you get enough information to get a much clearer picture, and again, an unbiased picture, as you brought up earlier, than you would simply doing a Google search and not being able really to separate the wheat from the chaff. If you type in the term glucan, you're going to come up with now approaching 200,000 studies.
So talk about some of those physiological processes that actually happen in regards to cancer and or the immune system when someone takes beta glucan.
Some of the most recent work is pretty exciting. Basically, the immune system, again, if it's working up here where it's supposed to work, one would argue you couldn't have cancer, because the immune system is basically doing four things. They are surveilling, identifying, attacking, and eliminating things that don't belong there. Cancer cells don't belong there. And so you've got a couple of unique types of immune cells that are constantly looking at these individual cells and saying, okay, happy, healthy cell, smiley face. Happy, healthy cell, smiley face. Don't see a smiley face. Bada bing, bada boom. That immune cell is going to call and rally, and it's actually going to destroy that cell. Now, that cell may or may not be cancerous. It could just be dead and or dying. It could be a cell that is infected by virus. But for whatever reason, it's not the happy, healthy cell that we want. And that is part of the immune system's natural response if the immune response is where it needs to be. Again, I would say to someone, if you have cancer, if you're battling cancer, that means, simply put, your immune system has failed you. And to try to move forward, you have got, or you need to include making sure that immune system is going to be all that it can be to win that battle.
When you go and look at the studies inside PubMed, I mean, there's so many anti-cancer properties of beta glucan that have been studied and are continuing to be studied, you know, from enhancing anti-tumor immune responses to increasing innate immune response and improving anti-tumor activity, to they're studying it for using in immunotherapy for cancer specifically. They're showing that it can help reduce inflammation and improve overall gut health. And we know 70% of the immune system's in the gut. So having a healthy gut is essential to a strong immune system, is essential to having your body be equipped to fight cancer. It's showing that it enhances apoptosis, which is cell death, healthy cell death, and which helps reduce cancer risk. I mean, there's so many studies in PubMed showing the benefits of this beta glucan, especially this yeast, baker's yeast derived version of beta glucan. It's fascinating stuff. And
well, you go down a short laundry list like that. Again, glucan with 190,000 studies. Glucan and cancer, you use those terms together, I think there's like 11,000 studies.
But I want to talk about the quality and effectiveness of it as well for a moment, because, you know, we've chosen Better Way Health as the beta glucan to take personally with my own family and to share with our community here. Because of, I know the quality is incredibly high, and because they use your strain of beta glucan. So can you talk a little bit about the quality and effectiveness and the importance of that compared to maybe other sources that are out there, and why Better Way Health is really the go-to solution for beta glucan?
Yeah, Better Way Health, the great thing about that team, not only do they have the ingredient, and I got to tell you, I shop from time to time on Amazon. But if you got a question, who do you call? No Ghostbusters, okay? These guys are the Ghostbusters in regards to, you can pick up the telephone and actually talk to an exquisitely trained team down there. I can tell you they're exquisitely trained because it had a little something to do with it. So you would be hard pressed to find anybody out there outside, again, a PhD or MD working in one of the hospitals or one of the laboratories on a daily basis. And this is, again, a tremendous testimony for those folks down there, is that they are genuinely interested not in just selling you a bottle of pills, but to making sure that you clearly understand how to properly use it. to answer the simple questions like, do I take it with or without meals? Can I take it with chemo and radiation? Again, these are the common questions, what I call the frequently asked questions. They know not only the questions, they know how to answer them, and they know how to answer them in multiples of ways.
Right, which is what I love about it. It's backed by science. It's really, the highest purity standard, and it's really the most studied, natural immune system enhancement supplement in the world. And so for those tuning in, there is a really special discount for you on this page. There's a link below. You can click that link to try Beta Glucan for yourself. I take it, my kids take it, my family takes it. It's really powerful stuff. I think it's incredibly beneficial, whether you're looking to enhance your immune system to prevent being sick from any infection, or you're wanting to prevent a cancer diagnosis and you just want to help your body be as strong as possible, or maybe you have cancer and you're trying to enhance your immune system function to help your body heal itself. All these things are great reasons to use this particular supplement. And so there's a link below for everybody that's got a really special discount for you. I do want to ask you a couple other questions. You brought up a good one in terms of side effects. Is it safe? Like, what do people need to be concerned about? Are there any side effects that people need to worry about?
If you think about any complex carbohydrate, whether it's and again, we're talking about a fiber, diabetics, people with cholesterol issues, people with weight issues, they're told to increase their fiber intake. And so this is a very, very safe material. It doesn't directly interact with other chemicals. Now, you can't say that about proteins, and you can't necessarily say that about certain other combination products. And in fact, certain prescription drugs will say, be careful, don't take this with, and they'll list certain things. So this material, however, because it stays in its unique state until it actually gets to the immune cells, and then the immune cells literally engulf it and utilize it. There's no metabolites. You don't have to worry about the liver or the kidneys having to clear it. Okay. I mean, it is a beautifully constructed material that does what it does, and then there's no trace of it once it's done. In fact, the only way you track it is to measure the increase of the immune competence, the increase in the activities that, as you say, reduce cancer growth, reduce tumors. I mean, you look at PubMed and the thousands and thousands of studies there having to do with cancer alone. In fact, I'd say if you pick one area of all the areas, cancer has been and continues to be the number one most studied area in regards to this particular ingredient, its effects and results. And a lot of companies out there are driving this for an injectable version, so that it can be given either as a standalone or along with other cancer drugs. Safety, the window of safety is so broad, it would be hard to even describe it. So,
well, AJ, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy over there. I know you're doing a ton of great work helping educate people on the importance of the immune system. And so I appreciate you taking the time to come and speak with our community and help spread the word about this really good product for helping enhance.
Thank you, Nathan, and thanks to for all the work that you do. It's helping people to understand, giving them the cold hard facts, turning the cards face up. That's going to help them make better decisions, and that's what is best for everybody.
100%, absolutely. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We do have a really special discount for you on Beta Glucan, the one that I recommend. right below this video. You can click that link. And again, appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. I wish you all ultimate health and happiness, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.